The Demotivation Box. How many of you can remember playing inside a refrigerator or washing machine box at some point during your childhood? It's a shame that home appliances don't come in giant boxes anymore. Our last fridge came in shrink wrap and a few corner panels, nothing that our kids could turn into a fort. I was disappointed. I told them about how much fun I had had turning a washing machine box into a secret hideaway. I remember feeling like I was entering a castle when I crawled inside. My voice echoed off the walls strangely, as if I had entered a different world, a place with different rules. I could draw on the walls with markers and crayons for one thing. I folded the box tabs partway down to close out the normal world, but still allow in light. My imagination ignited. Inside the refrigerator box, the hours flew by. The box morphed from a castle to a space capsule to a cavern hidden under an old oak tree where I could hide away. Then something happened that shattered the illusion and comfort of the box. Someone came along, closed the flaps completely, blocked them, and drummed wildly on the outside. The space transformed into a bass drum that I couldn't escape from. I did not like it at all. How had the space shrunk into a torture box of death in an instant? The sound deafened me. I yelled and tried to push the doors open. My chest tightened when I couldn't. What had been a secret hideaway had transformed into a prison. I panicked. "Stop it!" I shouted, and punched the wall hard, bending the cardboard outward. I heard my brothers sniggering outside. It could have been one of my older sisters, too. My memory is kaleidoscopic on this point, almost as if this same series of events happened many different times. "Let me out!" I demanded. I pressed against the flaps and they gave way. The light of the world re-entered the box. My fear fled away, leaving only embarrassment. I had overreacted and felt silly for it. "Hey, Ben, don't be mad," my brother insisted. It had been a harmless prank from the outside of the box, but inside the box it had felt catastrophic. I crawled out, not wanting to be inside anymore. The fun had been shattered by my claustrophobia. I knew I was being illogical. There had never been any danger, and now that my brother had shown up, we could even have more fun inside the box. But something had changed about the box. It no longer held the same infinite possibilities as a moment before. What had changed? My perspective on the thing. I didn't want anything to do with it. Motivation is a fragile thing for kids, but I suspect all of us. Our emotional reactions dictate how we will view everything: school, work, chores, even games. Only a few elements must shift to create an overreaction like my refrigerator box blow up. This memory kept coming back to me. At first, I thought it was because I never forget embarrassing moments. They are burned into the trauma side of my brain. In time, I came to realize it was more than my quirky relationship with social missteps. There was a nugget of gold in the memory that I could mine, and it connected to relationships, especially parenting. I suppose my quest to become a better parent is a worthwhile reason to drudge up the past. In the mind of every person, there is a motivation switch that can toggle on and off. When I could interact with the refrigerator box from a position of freedom, creativity, and curiosity, my motivation switch was on. But what happened when just a few of the elements of the game were changed? I didn't like the game anymore. I became angry, scared, and demotivated. The switch flipped instantaneously. What had I lost? Subtle things like the light, the quiet, my game, and the freedom to leave the box. If I had agreed to the parameters of that game in advance, it wouldn't have been so unsettling. It could have even been fun, but I had not agreed, so it toggled my motivation switch off. Let me out! I don't want to play! I think there is a simple formula for motivation. Let's use the four walls of the refrigerator box to envision them. Understanding how to switch on children's motivation is very important in parenting, teaching, and relationship building in general. Imagine a square, like the four walls of the refrigerator box. The formula to create motivation is simple addition, though not every person needs the same amount of each ingredient. Write infinite possibilities on the first side. This first element is important to attract engagement and relational buy-in. It allows for individual interest to guide and curiosity to lead. In learning, as with relationships, this is crucial. It promises and entices. When I entered the refrigerator box as a boy, I first saw a castle, then a spaceship, and finally a secret hideaway. You might have created different possibilities. We enter into opportunities in our life in the same way as a child climbs into a refrigerator box. We are drawn in by what is possible. I think life consists of refrigerator box moments. The more infinite the possibilities, the greater the likelihood we will be motivated to enter. Relationships, classes, jobs, endeavors, and even a simple conversation is a moment, an opportunity. Will you enter in and discover what is possible, or will you look elsewhere? I have found that children need some degree of infinite possibilities. As mentioned before, some need more than others. The trick is to calibrate the possibilities for age, stage, and personality. Then move on to the second side of the square. On the second side, write easy resets. When considering refrigerator boxes, a child will want to know, can I change my mind before entering? If I don't like the first thing I try, if I make a mistake, can I reset? The extent to which making mistakes is not only allowed, but easy and encouraged fosters positive risk-taking in a learning environment where the outcomes are not guaranteed. Kids are human too, after all. No one gets anything perfect on the first try. We are all more motivated to play in a box if we know we can make adjustments as we go along. Put another way, the cost of failure is low, and the solution to failure is to learn and try again. Motivation is supercharged when the refrigerator box mimics real life, requiring second chances, third chances, fourth, and so on. The third side is acceptable limitations. This is gravity dragging down the tail of the kite, giving it stability in flight. Limitations are everywhere, completely natural. They are guardrails on the side of the road. They are lines we must color within. Sometimes skill level provides an acceptable limitation. Sometimes knowledge. Sometimes natural talent. Sometimes it's present circumstances. Sometimes it's merely the laws of physics that provide the acceptable limitations. Life teaches us to live in the tension between our acceptable limitations and the infinite possibilities, and whether easy resets are allowed. Wisdom and maturity come as children struggle with these elements and learn what limitations can be pushed back. In many areas, they can be. In some, the price is too high, and in others, it is impossible. The more experience they amass playing in the refrigerator box of life, the better they understand which limitations are in which category. Now comes the all-important fourth side, the often minimized side. The open flaps of the box can be represented like a doorway drawn in architectural plans, an open side. The freedom to enter into the experience of the refrigerator box and the freedom to leave is the crucial fourth element in the motivation equation. The door of choice cannot be neglected without killing motivation. How do you allow for choice when something is required? You are right. Not everything in life comes with the option of choice for a plethora of reasons. The point is to create a choice wherever it can be appropriately given. Why? When a child is presented with appropriate levels of choice, age and stage, they learn to make wise choices even when foolish choices are a possibility. I've seen many kids grow up without having mastered this skill. They usually spend their 20s learning the hard way. The key to teaching freedom is to start early and start small. Fostering an environment of motivation is both an art and a science. You'll have to use your best judgment and calibrate the 4 elements for each kid each day. It's a gut thing, but don't ignore the data you receive each day. That is how you set the levels for the future. There's no autopilot in parenting, or life in general. I would like to end this article with the recipe for relational disaster. Demotivation is predictable, dangerous, and all too common. Identify it within your default relational settings and do everything you can do, everything, to avoid the pitfalls of demotivating the people in your life. So, how do you demotivate a human being? All you need to do is put them in a refrigerator box of infinite expectations, where everything that is done is wrong in some unpredictable way. Impose impossible resets, where everything that is not done is unforgivable. Create arbitrary limitations that make no sense and change without warning. And close the door of choice. That's all it takes. Now that you know the formulas for motivating and demotivating the human heart, make it your business to cultivate human flourishing in all your relationships.